Hello, I'm Kelsy Karter, and I'm hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
Congratulations, because you have your new signing with BMG. But you've been hustling independently for years now. So talk to me about that, artist development and what that was like for you.
Hard for sure, but I feel like I've discovered who I was through that, and I feel like if I was to describe myself, and what I discovered is that I'm super resilient, and there's really nothing that I feel like is too hard for me to figure out.
Right.
Problem solver, I guess. And like I never thought I was going to be a singer. So I was a musician my whole life. My family are all jazz musicians, so I was immersed in it. But I was a theatre kid, and acting was my passion. And my whole life I was like, I'm going to grow up and be an actor, director, and writer. And then I just kind of found my voice one day and was like, people had always told me I had a good voice, but I was very shy, very nervous doing it. But I had to for theatre. To be able to act, I had to sing. So I just got good at it that way, I guess. I was like training my whole life for something I didn't know I wanted to do. And then, I just kind of found my voice one day. And I don't know, the evolution of where I've been in the last few years has definitely evolved into me finally being free in who I am and owning who I am and making the music that I really love and think I was always meant to make.
Now, what kind of obstacles did you go through, or what kind of challenges did you face in order to finally figure out your sound and what you're creating today?
Well, listening to people and their silly opinions. As a young girl in Hollywood, you get kind of caught up in listening to everyone else that think they know better. Right. I've always been a really stubborn person and quite rebellious growing up. So it's my nature to just kind of do my own thing and go against the grain no matter what. But I found myself kind of tied up in a world I didn't understand yet or know. So I was just kind of doing what I was told. And then one day I was like, I'm miserable. I'm miserable making this music and doing what these people are telling me to do. And this goes against everything I stand for. And the reason that I moved countries to do this. And obviously being alone was a big one. I miss my family and the people that I trust. I'm the kind of person that has like just a few people that I fully let into my heart and my world. So that was a big struggle, and going through different managements that wanted me to be something that I wasn't. That was hard, and definitely, but all part of the evolution, like I said. Yeah. And just trial and error, making shit songs and then realizing they're shit and making better ones and just doing that over and over and over.
Now, over the years, you've kind of heard, labels or major people saying that rock and roll is like a dying breed. Like, it's kind of hard to promote it. Like, you can't get signed because it's so difficult to kind of put you in a box and promote you. So, like, the fact that you kept getting those kind of comments, like, why did you feel like you still had to pursue this rock and roll and try and keep it alive?
Just going back to, like, by nature, I'm a rebellious spirit, and it was always like I'm a control freak and I'm stubborn and I'm fixed kind of person, and I physically get this like anxiety and like intensity when I'm uncomfortable with something. And I started to have that all the time. Like, I was never fully proud of showing someone my music, and I was never fully proud of, like, I don't know, it's like when you meet someone and they're like, oh, I'm trying to be an artist. Like, I never wanted to say that. I wanted to be like, I am an artist. I'm a musician, and here it is. Like, and be proud of that. And I just was never fully connected to what I was doing, and that made me uncomfortable. So I was like, you know what? If I die a starving artist, but happy, I would rather that than if I had blown up as this big star doing something I wasn't comfortable with, I would be very unhappy. Right. So I was just like, you know what? I'm going to do me like I always have. And if it works, then hell yeah.
Yeah. So, along that process, you teamed up with Michael Morgan. who is now like producing a lot of your stuff with you. So, what was it about those sessions that the two of you guys had that really kicked off, this career that you guys are kind of doing together?
Well, we met on Twitter. This mate of ours connected us. It was kind of like that was when I decided I wasn't going to make music I didn't want anymore. And I'm a writer first, and I wanted to write my own music and really have something to say. And I wasn't, the situation I was in, the management and producers and stuff that I was working with, I didn't really have the freedom there.
Yeah.
And so I got out of all of those situations and kind of pressed reset. And I tweeted, looking for new collaborators, don't care how big or small. And a mutual friend of ours, connected me to Michael, and we wrote the worst song in history, the worst song in history, and maybe I'll leak it one day. But and usually when that happens, I don't really pursue working with someone further if you're like it's not a vibe. But we got along so well, and we're like, let's just keep trying, let's keep doing this. And I was definitely doing, I have a very jazzy kind of soul upbringing in music, so we were kind of leaning kind of more on like rock soul kind of vibes. Right. And he started to bring to life some songs that I had written, and we just kind of became best friends, and we just kind of kept doing it. We were just like, let's just keep exploring what this is. And Michael was really good at helping me, even though we're very different people. Yeah. I think that's what kind of connected us. And he was very good at bringing out the things in me that were strong, and that what I should kind of lead with and what people resonate with. He saw those things and helped me kind of own them, I guess. Right. So he's been an integral part of me embracing this whole, like, this is who I am, and this is what I'm going to say, and this is how I'm going to say it. So, yeah.
And most recently, you just dropped...
I was in his wedding, so...
Yeah, congratulations, by the way. That was, like, last year, yeah?
Yeah. I should have been best man, but I'll settle for bridesmaid. What's up?
So now you recently released Blast Off, your latest single, which is like, I love this track. It's on replay. Talk to me about the creative process with this track and, the vibe that you guys had in the studio when making it.
It's funny because that song was just like, sometimes Michael and I just get together and we're like, just bored, and we're like, let's just write something. Yeah. And there's no like pressure or we need to write a hit song and we need to blow the radio out of the water. We don't do that. I mean, sometimes we do that, and then we don't necessarily write the best stuff when you put that pressure on yourself. Right. So we just went into the studio and like, let's just write something fun. And I had gone through a pretty big letdown in that time and was quite depressed over it, but I didn't want to write a depressing song. I was like, let's just write something fun and rock and roll and, short. It's 1:48. It's a very short song. And yeah, it just came out really cool. It was just, I think we wrote it in like 2 hours, and that was it. And then I kind of went back and rewrote some of the lyrics to connect it more to my story that I was going through. But yeah, it's a super guerrilla style song. Michael mixed it himself. We put it out independently. It was my last independent release. And I shot a music video for it in New York with some mates for like $300, and yeah. That's cool. Yeah.
That's cool. Now, and you kind of hear that in the song. Like, that's what I really enjoyed about it, that I felt like I was at a live show, and you get that kind of vibe. Is that how you recorded it also? It was just literally like a live track that you kind of did, or did you actually like produce guitar separately and everything else separately?
No, yeah, Michael did it all. He played all the instruments and produced it all himself. I just sang the song and then left him to it. Yeah. So, but we do that song live. I think we opened on tour this year. I think it was our opener. Yeah, we've been opening with it, so it's cool.
Now talk to me about those screams that you have on that track, because I think that was one of my favorite parts as well. Like, and for me, I feel like it's the first time that you've actually incorporated a lot in one track. Yeah. So, what inspired you to kind of bring those into this song?
Well, my biggest inspiration musically when growing up was James Brown. I love him so much. It was before I found rock and roll. I didn't find rock and roll until later on, but because my daddy wouldn't really let me. But we would listen to soul records and James Brown was my favorite.
Yeah.
And he obviously is like known for that. So I kind of learned how to use that part of my voice through listening to him. And I don't know, people like it. It's kind of grabs you by the balls, and guess yeah, it's my thing. I don't know.
So now you're in the process of working on your debut album.
Yeah.
You know, how different is this new album? Can we hear it similar to this new single? Is there a new direction that you're trying to take? Like, what can we expect for this debut?
Ooh, first time I'm answering this. It's like, yeah, it's rock and roll for sure, but it's definitely like got a lot of modern elements into it. I don't ever want to copy anyone or redo something that's done. And trust me, I've been in the studio for years where people have tried to make me the next Amy Winehouse or make me Joan Jett. And it's like, you can't, I am Kelsy Karter. Yeah. I am not these people. And I really wanted to dive in and like find what Kelsy Karter was going to say and how she was going to say it. And obviously I love Rolling Stones and Queen and Bowie and Elvis, and I come from the soul kind of background with James Brown and Sam Cooke, and it was kind of just like hybriding all these different inspirations with like also modern elements. But I would say it's like a theatrical cheeky punk rock record, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's anthemic at the same time.
Nice.
So yeah, cheeky punk rock with theatrical anthems, rock anthems. I don't know, but yeah, it's cool. It's big.
Now, as far as your songwriting, how do you feel it's actually evolved since writing your first material to like what you're working on now for this album?
Oh my gosh, I don't even want to think about how bad my songs were before. I mean, I always say like, I never want to stop. I never want to write my best song because then I'll stop trying to write it.
Right.
And just seeing how I've evolved as a songwriter, I think that I want people to know that if you stick to something and you work your ass off and you really care, you can do whatever you want. And I think that this album kind of displays where I've come as a songwriter and as a, musician, producer, singer. I'm very proud of it. Yeah. Which is great because like I said before, there was not a time where I could sit there and be like, so yeah. I'm like, just wait till you hear this.
So what do you think it was that got the attention of your management team today and then the label as well?
Well, my managers, I had a song called Out of Drugs that I released independently in 2016, and it was a soul record. It was like it's like a 6/8 kind of ballad, and it went to number 1 on this independent music chart thing called Hype Machine, and my managers found it there, and it was the only song I had, that I was proud of, and yeah, they signed me on that song, and just I guess my conviction to win, to want to win, and we've been kind of cultivating this sound for a couple years and just kind of finding, like I said, I was doing more that lane a couple years ago and teetering on the edge of rock, but not fully diving in. Right. And then 2018, the beginning of last year, I had some pretty massive life changes that created a lot of darkness in my life, and I was writing about it nonstop, and I was in another situation, label kind of dating situation, where they were again trying to make me be something that I kind of just didn't want to be, and I was so fed up with the crap I was dealing with in my life that I was like, nah, no. So I said to my managers, I want to make rock and roll, like I want to do this. I'm fed up being uncomfortable with waking up. Yeah. And they were fully on board, and we went in and wrote a song called Harry that was kind of like my first. Well, we wrote God Knows I've Tried, which is a rock ballad that I have, and Liquor Store on Mars, which is another big rock ballad that I have, and Harry. And we wrote those 3 songs kind of, the first 2, the God Knows and Liquor Store, were because I was going through stuff. But then Harry, I was like, I don't want to write shit about anything that I'm going through right now. Just write a fun song. And that was kind of the sell to everybody on my team to be like, okay, we should do this, Kelsy, like we're on board. So then we did that, and I've been releasing just a few tunes in that lane after that, and then we did this whole PR stunt that kind of catapulted that song into the stratosphere, and been touring all year, and then got the attention of the label. I don't know. Yeah, I guess. I don't. Oh, actually, what am I talking about? I toured with the Struts, and one of their people from Interscope, I became friends with through touring with them, and he ended up leaving Interscope and going to BMG. And so when he went to BMG, he wanted to bring me in. Yeah. And that's how I met those guys, and went from there.
That's awesome. I'm excited. Like I said, I've been a fan for a long time, so it's exciting to see where you've come and like where you're going, and now there's these important people behind you letting you do what you want to do. So congratulations on that sense. As far as the debut album, for sure 2020 we're going to expect this. Like, what else can we expect for the remainder of this year? Are you done for the year and just focusing on the record?
Yeah, just finishing it. I'm kind of like a psychopath when it comes to making sure it's, right. Because once you put it out there, it's like, it's my first album, and I'm a girl in a boys club. You know what I mean? So I want to make sure it's wicked. Yeah. And but going back to my acting and directing, that I do all the visuals and direct all my music videos and all of that. So, and it's a kind of a loosely conceptual album. So I'm kind of just focusing right now on finishing the music and figuring out what it's going to look like with the team. Right.
Awesome. Well, congratulations with all that. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit with me. Guys, be sure to check out Kelsy Karter. New single, Blast Off, is out now, and thanks for watching on Front Row Live.